All right, it's Thursday morning. That means a visit to our kitchen from our good friend, Chef Tom Williams from Kroger. You brought your friend Dan here with you as well. Dan Swoboda, good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. Dan the Cheese Man, huh?
That's what he's affectionately called at our store, yes.
Fantastic.
So, what are we making, Dan?
Today what we're going to do is kind of a takeoff on what everyone knows is the fried mozzarella sticks. This is going to be maybe the adult version of that, and we're going to do it with feta cheese.
Whoa!
And we're going to have a fruit coulis sauce made with fresh raspberries. The recipe we sent in, which is from our good friend Steve Alls, used cranberries, but they're not in season right now, so we decided to go with the raspberries. The tartness of the raspberry plays nicely with the flavor of the feta cheese.
Now, if mango, perhaps.
Oh, yes.
There we go again.
We were talking about that earlier.
You could use that as well.
Somebody left me a jar of sliced mango on my work table later that day. I figured out who did it.
That's incredible.
That is great stuff. All right, so how do we take the feta from its normal, delicious self into
right
make it even better?
We're going to start out with we're going to put it in flour, and that just basically gets something for the egg wash to adhere to.
Seasoned flour.
Seasoned flour.
Which today we're using from Big Spring Mills out of Elliston, Virginia.
Oh, very good.
And then we're going to just go ahead and put it in the egg wash.
Now, are we doing wet hand, dry hand technique here?
Absolutely we are. That was, yes. And then we're going to go right into the panko crust, crumbs.
And we played around a little bit with this yesterday, and we came up with if you double dip it into the egg wash and panko, you get a better coating.
Oh, very good.
And it comes much better.
It's a much nicer product. It's nice and crunchy.
So after we've done all that, then the next step, which is really quite simple, we just want to take this and we want to make it into a ball like what you see right there.
Very good.
Okay, so
and while Dan's doing that, I'm going to start on the raspberry coulis. So we have we have a pound of fresh raspberries.
Right.
They're going to go into a saucepan. Then we have the juice of 3 oranges. It's going to go right in there. We have the zest of 1 orange. We have a tablespoon of horseradish. We have a teaspoon of minced ginger. You can either get your own fresh ginger and peel it and mince it, or we'll do like Dan and I did and get the jarred version.
Yeah. It also comes in tubes, is that right?
Yeah, I've used the tubes in here a bunch. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. We're using the Kroger flavored maple syrup. And 1 tablespoon of honey. And we're going to let that simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to take our friend the immersion blender, so you might want to stand back.
Thank you, yes. I'll go 3 moves down the hallway.
And we'll puree that into a coulis, which is the fruit-flavored sauce that we're going to have.
Now, Dan, we have here a lot of different types of feta. Are there any of them specifically that would make the best, or even just do a variety of them?
You could do a variety. You could actually even do it. We have an herb. You can do a tomato basil. I mean, anything that you want to do that's going to make the flavor
fat-free.
Fat-free.
We had talked yesterday while we were doing this that if you took some blue cheese and a couple chunks of bacon,
oh boy,
that might be neat.
That would be outstanding.
And that would be on the inside of the feta.
And you can also change up your panko if you want to add some more seasoning to that, or even the flour, just to make it a different flavoring.
And in our private selection brand, we have about 5 different flavors of panko. We have a Parmesan, we have a Chipotle.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you if we wanted to stay more on the mild side and let the cheese be the star of the show versus the crust on the outside. But I guess, mix and match.
Yeah, you could do it. I mean, this is excellent the way it is, so I don't know that I would delve into changing it up too much.
And then how long do we need to deep fry this? And what type of oil?
They go in the freezer for about 25-30 minutes. These have been frozen overnight. And then they were in a 350-degree fryer, which we use peanut oil. You can definitely use any kind of oil you want. You don't want one with a lot of flavor, say olive oil or anything like that, so you can use vegetable oil or corn oil. 3.5 minutes or 3 minutes 15 seconds is what came out really good for what we did. But we have a really big chunk of cheese, so if you had a smaller piece, it might not take as long.
Yeah, the other variation in what you're seeing right here today, traditionally feta is a sheep's milk cheese. And that's something that a lot of people don't really grasp or really want to try. So this is actually a pasteurized skim milk cheese, or skim milk cheese. So it's going to have the same properties as sheep's milk cheese, but it's going to obviously have a different flavor. Looking
forward to giving this a try coming up in our next segment out here in the kitchen. But in the meantime, you can go to our website, VirginiaFirst.com, to find this recipe under the morning menu tab. Our buddy Steve Alls is the one who brought this to us.
Yes.
You can find it again on the website, VirginiaFirst.com. Gentlemen, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Your Fox 2127 Morning News. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. We are cutting in You know, we hear fried cheese often in restaurants. That's mozzarella. That's
Yeah.
child's play.
That's right. This is
Mere
the adult.
child's play compared to what we're working on here. Remind everybody what we have.
This is a deep-fried feta. And what's interesting, feta is more about the style and how the cheese is cut, more so than what the cheese itself is.
Oh.
So it's, you know, that's what a lot of people think that's kind of the brand for the cheese. But this is a deep-fried feta along the same lines as that mozzarella that you referred to in that coulis sauce.
And this sauce, boy, there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah,
We got raspberries for sure. I saw honey, maple syrup. Tell everybody what, whatever.
Honey, maple syrup, ginger, horseradish, orange juice, zest of an orange.
Now you put all those into the pan and you let it, simmer for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What we didn't see was the
Use my
emulsion.
immersion blender, or you could pour it into a blender or something like that. And make sure that anybody sharply dressed is nowhere in sight.
Thank you.
So that
We
we don't...
fried this in peanut oil, and the reason we did that is it has a higher flash point. Is that correct, Tom? So you
Smoke point,
bring
yeah.
that up to a higher point and without burning it up.
Right.
So we did it in peanut oil, but you can do it in any kind of oil, canola oil, regular oil, probably not olive oil. But that coulis sauce offsets that pungency you get from that brine from the feta.
Right.
So it really makes a nice combination, real nice contrast.
This is really good stuff. And I know part of that sauce, how do you pronounce it? Coulis?
Coulis.
Coulis. I wanted to say David Coulier, but he was on, what was it? Full House. Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't want to blend it to the point where it's super smooth, though.
No.
You still want to let it...
It's got some body.
It's about it, yeah. It's like pulp and orange juice.
It plays
same thing.
nice with the cheese. And you got the sweet and the tart. And
I know we joked about it earlier, but other than raspberries, other like
you could
blueberry
use
were
mango,
or,
blueberry, any of that would work well.
Yeah, anything sweet that you want to offset this with, you could use that.
right.
Not a problem.
This is very good stuff.
Great.
Now, you had mentioned that there are different types of feta that are already infused with some flavor.
Yes, there are. Yeah, most of what you're going to see is either tomato basil. You might see a little bit of Mediterranean herb. Those are the more dominant flavors that you get in the stores that you'll find.
And by the way, Bob, just like a pan out of the oven, don't touch those when they first come out of the fryer.
Oh, I imagine
As
so.
Dan grabs it.
Well, come on. You work around fried chicken. You get your fingers are just.
And it's important to mention that when you went through the steps of breading the feta, it went in the freezer. How long, what's a minimum we want to keep it in the freezer?
30 minutes.
30
Yeah.
minutes or more, but these are actually done overnight, so we left in the freezer. So if you want to do a bunch
There's
of
no
head
harm
for a
in doing
party,
that.
not at all, and just have them out the next
We
day.
did them at work yesterday for about 20 minutes, and it worked out well. It melted a little bit more, but you know, you don't want it completely to melt out because feta's not like mozzarella; it doesn't string.
Right.
So you know, the classic when you eat a mozzarella stick.
And you mentioned the 350 degrees. We did the peanut oil here, but it's only just a few minutes.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes approximately. These are like 3 minutes and 20. You could do these in a skillet, you know, on your stove if you know temp the oil. The thing is, you would have to turn it over probably, but you know, lots of people have the little fry daddies and things like that. And I know, you know, fryer baskets are real popular. You know, I know I have one or two. So
Well, this is really, really good stuff. I mean, normally when you think of traditional fried cheese, it's with marinara sauce. This coulis
really different.
is really different, but it's so delicious. Definitely check this recipe out. Dan, thank you so much for coming in.
Glad to
Chef
be here.
Tom,
Thank you.
appreciate you bringing Dan in. He brought in some really good stuff here with the feta. Go to our website, VirginiaFirst.com. Click on the Morning Menu tab. You'll find this recipe and all the recipes we feature here on your Fox 21/27 Morning News. Let's sit outside now to Christina, who I know can't wait to try this.
That's right.
Good morning to you. We are watching those showers and storms continuing to move away from us right now, and we are getting a little bit of a break, although we do have a lot of fog in place, and we still have some showers in the highlands. Pocahontas County, Highland County mainly, and along 219 near Ed Riley do have a pocket of some slightly heavier rain, but those storms are over for now. This afternoon, though, we're going to have another round move in. Scattered showers